Welcome back to Let's Play Crystalis with me, jrpg, and in the last episode, our rebel stronghold, the town of Shira, was smashed. Everyone there was killed, including Stom and Akahana, and all of the wisemen got kidnapped. Now, we are going to get our revenge right now by storming the fortress in Goa, and we remember that this is where Sabera the Witch said she was taking Mesia, so hopefully she will be there. Now, before I head in, I just want to make sure I've got everything that I want equipped. And we are a little light on MP, so why don't we hit the inn first? Because, as I said in the last episode, this is probably the largest dungeon in the game. And like any good NES game, what we're looking at here is a little bit of a boss gauntlet, so let's get to it. Now we're going to want our barrier spell for this. Where did it get you? There we go. Got so many spells now. Oh, and I walked right into that. But now that we have our level 2 charge shot, we can destroy these. They're a little more dangerous than your usual wall, but they go down just the same. And this part is actually a little bit challenging, where you have these ninjas. They're pretty quick. Even quicker, I would say, than the Draygonian guards and flying enemies. But our Thunder Sword is pretty good at dealing with stuff like this, so we're not going to have to worry about it too much. And as you can tell, we are getting decently well into the end game, and these places are going to be increasingly maze-like and increasingly difficult. Fortunately, I know my way through the first part pretty well, but this has 3 or 4 total sections. So we're gonna do our best not to get lost, but, you know, we'll see. Yeah, and that spread shot is just so good at taking advantage of the, you know, taking advantage of your ability to stand aside on enemies and not have their projectiles hit you. Obviously, I'm getting hit right now. It seems I've taken a wrong turn somewhere, so let me think. Being stuck on these narrow corridors is a real pain when it comes to fast-flying enemies and enemies with projectiles. I feel like I got on the castle wall at the wrong point. Yeah, I definitely did. Okay. Say I'll do my best not to get lost and then immediately get lost. Here's where we want to get on the castle wall, right here. And then we'll want to take the top section. The nice thing, though, is that it gave me the opportunity to kill a few monsters, and I would like to get to level 14 sooner than later, but it's super not necessary. I'm just interested in getting it done because we've gotten close naturally. Yeah, this is the way I want to go. Alright, and we are about to come upon one of the enemies, one of the bosses, and they know we're coming, so that's sort of the explanation for why there are lots of them, but I think I'm ready to go here. I just want to make sure I've got my wind sword on, and let's get a charge going, and let's go. It's General Kelbesque. Well done so far. Now you will join the people of Shiren. What a jerk. And we're just going to use our level 3 charge shots, and I'll explain why we can just kind of burn the MP in a second. I gotta keep moving a little bit better than that. Thought I could sneak by there, but it was not meant to be. We're out of MP. I think I can just beat him straight up, though. I don't want to spend a magic ring on the first one. He has not given me a moment to breathe. Alright, he shouldn't take too many more shots. There we go. And what has he left behind? The Opal Statue. I imagine that's supposed to be opal, and what that will do is, if you have it selected, when you die, you will get a full heal and revive. It's pretty awesome. And now this is why we were able to spend our MP so freely. Zebu says, well done, but the other wise men are still captive. I will recover your strength. Take care. And we get a full heal and our MP recovered, which is way more generous than most NES games are with their boss gauntlets. They just kind of expect you to do it in one go, no heals, no help whatsoever. So let's keep going. Alright, and this is going to be part 2. Despite the fact that you just heard something, there aren't actually that many enemies in here. It's just a big old maze. Now, the first way we're going to want to go is up this way. I'm going to make this ice bridge just because I can't resist, but we're not going to take it for right now. We just want to go around. And that's going to lead us here, and I think we're going to encounter one of the only enemies in here. One of these lizard guys. Now, let's go ahead and break this wall. And this looks like it's going to be a boss room, but that's just to fool you. We get a Fruit of Power, which will recover some MP, which is very nice to have indeed. MP is at a huge premium in here because we have to deal with so many enemies and bosses also consecutively. Now, I think I just want to head back where I came. Yeah, and unfortunately, it's weird to me that there are so few enemies in here. Like, it feels a bit empty. But honestly, it's kind of fun to puzzle out a maze without constantly being harassed by enemies. In some ways. At least we have these floating skeletons to keep us company. Now, if we make a little detour down here, we're going to find a Fruit of Repun. And what that will do is restore us if we get transformed, which is sort of like a status ailment, but it leaves you completely helpless, unlike some of the other ones. At least with the other ones, you can still fight. At least some of the other ones. With this one, you cannot. So Fruit of Repuns are gonna be pretty important coming up here. Now, I'm gonna make this bridge, but I don't need to take it. And same with this one. But they're there, and it's just fun to do. There's one thing that I'm skipping, which is a Lysis plant in here, but we won't really need that. The recover spell makes those pretty irrelevant. Whoa, he almost got me. Alright, get out of my way. Now we'll get out our Ball of Thunder and break these demon walls, and let's keep going. And now, since the bosses are kind of in order, we're going to get out our Flame Sword. And let's be ready. And it's Sabera the Witch again. Long time no see. Ha! I won't let you get by me. Be prepared. You know what, Sibera? Maybe you should be prepared, because you're gonna get smashed by this fire sword. And I figured out what those do. They eat a bit of my MP, but this fire sword is just gonna absolutely crush her. got me again. Alright, this slowdown is helping me tremendously. Bam! Down she goes. And she's gonna leave behind something for me as well, but I think I'm full up. Yeah, so why don't we figure out what we can use? Yeah, I guess we'll just burn a medical herb. These are pretty useless at this point, I think. And another Fruit of Repun. And I do like having 2 of those on me just in case I do a bad job fighting the boss where they're relevant. But now... we've saved Tornell. Tornell says, I'm saved. By the way, how is Stom? And I don't reply. Tornell says, I see, but he held on to the last. I will restore your strength, avenge Stom, and I would be glad to. I'm still a little bit upset that he died. Alright, I think I've got everything on that I want to continue, so let's keep going to level 3. Alright, there's gonna be a bunch of magic rings in this section that I'm gonna want, but let's get our Thunder Sword back on for now. And we're basically just gonna replace almost everything in our inventory with magic rings, which is gonna be sweet. Now, I want to come down this way. Let's make sure I don't have my refresh on. Yep, okay. Too many items. Let's go ahead and drop some. We don't need stuff like the Fruit of Lime anymore. So let's go ahead and drop that. Take the magic ring, and then we need to head back to directly where we were. And then we'll just go straight up the middle. I'm definitely going to take these guys out, though. Bam! Level 14 already. Then if we head straight up here, I think we're still full. But fortunately, we're down a couple of hit points, so we can go ahead and use this medical herb and not feel too bad about it. And another Opal statue. So that's right, we have 2 full heals if we die. Which means we are more or less unkillable at this point. And I am not complaining. Alright, now the way that we want to go is going to be this way. Okay. Those guys do paralysis, so I'm gonna want my Sacred Shield for in here. And I'd probably like to take him out so he doesn't knock me off that. These floating platforms, they love to throw these flying enemies at you to knock you off. It's the worst. Okay, do I want to go that way quite yet? I don't think so. Ugh, these guys are bothering me. Okay. Lots of slowdown there. Okay. So we can... let's see. I like all this stuff, so I'm not really sure what to drop. I guess we can drop the Fruit of Power because... we get a magic ring in exchange, and I think that's a pretty good deal. Now, I think I want to get rid of these sorcerers. And I think the Flame Bracelet will do it. And we'll have to use a level 3 charge attack to reveal them, but... that's better than falling down the pit because they paralyzed me. Even if you have the shield on, it still knocks you off, which is super annoying. So let's just make sure we're ready to take this on. Yeah, and there's a whole bunch right here, and I don't want to get caught by a stray paralysis spell. And we have so many magic rings that, like, We can afford to do this. We kind of skipped these guys last time, so I think it'll be fun to actually kill them this time. And their spell does nothing to me. Check this out. Nothing. All right, let's keep going. I suppose I can just run right past that one. And let's see here. Just a little bit further to the boss. Here we go. And it's Mado again. Hoo-hoo, I'm glad you could come. You're nothing to fear. Be proud of it. I don't really know what that means. I feel like that's a Japanese insult that I'm a little too American to understand. Oh, we should definitely be wearing our iron necklace. And then we're just gonna deal with him the same way we did last time. With some level 3 water sword action. And he is just way too fast to avoid this time. I do need to burn a magic ring just because I don't have any magic power to do my level 3 charge attack. Man, that hit him so many times. I gotta feel like it's maybe one more. Yeah, and you're better off just not even trying to avoid him when he's in that ball shape. It's absurd. And for our trouble, we get a free Sacred Shield, but we already have one, so let's keep going. And it's Asina. Thank you, jrpg. I will cure your wounds. The last sorcerer is Carmine. He uses magic to change people into monsters, so be careful. And Carmine is why we have our Fruit of Repuns with us. Alright, let's get our Sword of Thunder back on. And I will have to sell the Sacred Shield at some point, but at some point we're actually going to be able to replace all of these, which is going to be real sweet, but we'll see that in a little bit. And I'm just going to ignore you. Boy, that guy is real tough. All right, down he goes. Now this one looks pretty complicated, but it's actually kind of deceptively simple. The doorways have a nice geography to me where it feels clear where you end up versus where you came from, if that makes sense. Now, these skeletons look like you can't kill them, but you can. You just have to hit them an absurd number of times, and down they go. And they can't poison you, which is weird to me because I feel like a poisonous skeleton kind of doesn't make sense, but, you know. Now that I've realized that those drain your MP, I hate it. I wish I had just lived in ignorance forever. Alright, out of the way, skeletons. You know, I was watching a interview, or rather, well, it's this series called War Stories, where it's game developers talking about game development. And they were, it was the creator of Crash Bandicoot, and he was talking about enemy design in a 3D game. And while this game is not 3D, you can move in 8 directions, so it is not purely a side-scroller, which leads to some interesting problems when it comes to making enemies. And so one of the tricks that he used in Crash Bandicoot was to change the camera angle and have you be being chased by things. So that, yes, you can move from side to side, but because the thing is chasing you, it sort of takes away that dimension a little bit. But in a way that is not super noticeable to the player, doesn't feel artificial. Like, they're not preventing you from doing that per se, but the way that things are playing out kind of does. And I feel like that's a trick that they use in this game a lot, where you have these projectile enemies, but they put you in sections with really narrow corridors, making them much more threatening. And it's one of those things that's so subtle that you don't really notice it unless someone points it out to you. Now, this is where I wanted to go. We'll destroy this. And now we could go left and navigate a bunch of pits, or go right and kind of avoid them, and I'm kind of feeling going right. I don't want to fall through the pits and have to redo anything. Now, coming up here, we're going to have some spikes, and we're just going to leap across them as usual. Now, I could... Yeah, you know what? We'll check out the treasure boxes. I will not be needing those. But let's see what's in this one. Yeah, let's go ahead and drop our warp boots. We're never going to need those again. Magic ring for my trouble, I will take it. But that sort of movement restriction is really interesting to me. And I love the dramatic camera pan there, as though this is the boss. Let's go talk to it. It's Kenzu. Hey, it's me. I was stupid and was hit by Carmine. In order to recover, I need the Ivory Statue. It's in a room downstairs. Use the hole over there. And now the hole over there is super not clear, like, what does he mean? But it is right over here, and not past him. If you were to go past him, that's the way out, so you do need to come here, but conveniently you can kind of just drop down. Let me make sure I've got my rabbit boots on. But to finish my thought, it's subtle enough in this game where it's a little bit invisible, but I think it's really well done. And just adds to the challenge in a fun way, although it is a little frustrating sometimes. But it's an interesting sort of design problem, in my opinion. All right, now before we take this on, yep, we want our Ball of Thunder. We're gonna want our Shield Ring. And we can try out Barrier a little bit, because we will probably need it for this fight. All right, let's get our charge shot ready to go. Welcome, jrpg. I'm Carmine, Dragonia's finest. You must be tired, so rest forever in darkness. Ha! And this guy is pretty tough, I'm not gonna lie. The angle that these things move on is a little bit difficult to avoid, and that sort of ringed flame thing he shot at me would transform me, and I would need a Fruit of Refund to recover from that if it were to hit me. I'm going to try not to let that happen, but no promises. The funniest part about these projectiles is that oftentimes it's best to just stay still. But this is the rare fight where you may actually want to use your barrier spell. Like that. All right, this is actually going pretty well. But those things hurt a lot. Oh boy. All right, let's get our Opal statue on. Because I'm not convinced I'm gonna have enough time to cast Recover. And they're kind of taking up space. I feel like one of them is enough. Two is just like a huge luxury, so we can burn one. Oh, but we got there. All right. And there's my Ivory Statue I need to cure Kenzu. And he may heal us. I don't actually remember, so let's just hang on to our magic rings for now and get him that Ivory Statue and make sure that he's not a slime anymore. Being a slime does not seem particularly enjoyable. I'm just gonna reset that. All right, want my rabbit boots. And not refresh so I don't get that annoying message. I suppose I feel a little bit better when I'm out of MP when those hit me. And we get one more look at that camera pan. I love it. All right, let's give him the Ivory Statue. Can I just give it to him? What is happening right now? There we go. And the Ivory Statue is given to Kenzu. What a relief. Here, I will cure your wounds. The Emperor and Mesia left for the pyramid. Mesia has the power to call the tower, but don't give it to Draygon. I'll teach you flight to aid you. Now take the shortcut through the back. And now we have the flight spell. And that's the spell that we got the sneak peek at in the last episode that we're going to need to find some pretty exciting equipment. But for now, let's take his advice and take this shortcut out of here. And so where we are right now is kind of beneath the southern desert south of Goa, but we need our flight spell to get past this sort of poisonous ground. I'm not even really sure what you'd call it. But that's right, we can fly now, and it's really cool. I love it. Yeah, it is quite a bit of toxic ground there. And now there are a couple of places I want to go, but I feel like we should just tackle this right away. So where we are is kind of an underground waterway. And there are going to be a couple of treasures in here that I want to grab. So those are the leather boots. Those would allow me to walk over the stuff that we've been jumping over or flying over. It ends up not being that handy just because the jump boots... Oh my god. Just because the jump boots kind of allow you to defeat that pretty easily. And I'm not sure if that's on purpose. Like, I feel like that's something most people would just kind of intuitively try to do. So they don't end up being super useful, but there they are nonetheless. These flying guys are giving me the business as usual. And now we have some battle armor, but that is already obsolete. It is worse than our ceramic suit. And just to prove it, let's check it out. We're at 38 defense. We put this on. We're only at 34, so that's just something to sell. But it's gonna be fine. Now, as I recall, I want to head this way, and we want to make our way towards the center. Right in here. And we'll destroy a demon wall, and in the center, we find the power ring. Now, this thing is awesome. It works the same way that the, sort of iron necklace and shield ring do, except for it adds to our, what level we are to our attack, so it's gonna add 14 to our attack, which is real sweet. And I will be using that from now on, and just believing in myself that I can avoid enemy attacks. Which hasn't proven to be true, but you know what? I'm gonna choose to believe it anyway. Because I don't know about you, but I'm an attack guy. Big attack numbers really appeal to me much more than big defensive numbers. All right, let's get out of here. That's everything I want in there. And if we head up here, we will find ourselves in the desert. And we're going to do a few things here, but first, we have some errands to run. Namely, I want to get back to Mount Hydra, but Akahana, when Chiron fell, mentioned to us that he left something with someone in Goa. So I think we're going to go to Goa first. feel like it was all a nightmare. She still has the same thing to say. I feel like a tremendous weight has just been lifted. So at least some people are relieved that we've destroyed the fortress. Don't look down on the Emperor's power. Some people are not. Is that so? The Great Four were killed? Ah, the Emperor is still left. And so, it's super not clear to me how you would know to do this, but this is Akahana's friend. So why don't we go ahead and change into Akahana and see what he has to say about that. Yo, Akahana, you look good. I'll return that item you loaned me. And this is the warrior ring, and this thing is unbelievable. Oh, I'm very excited. I'm just gonna show you what it does, rather than tell you. Let's just get to the field. Alright, where are some enemies? Let me at them. It makes your regular attack into your level 1 charge attack. I wish that you could use multiple of these at the same time. But that would be more broken than it already is, but this is amazing. Now, I said that the charge shot was like having the spread shot in Contra, but this is like having the spread shot in Contra for sure. And this is probably what we'll be using for most of the rest of the game. However, I'm probably going to do like some equipment swaps for bosses where I'll want like better defensive items if bosses are hard to avoid or things like that. But this is just so much fun. No need to charge anymore. Just shoot them and enjoy your life. All right, let's stay at the end. We kind of got a little beat up there. I was just too excited to pay attention. And we're going to go ahead and climb Mount Hydra and find those secret items and get a little bit deeper into the game. But that's going to have to wait until next time because I'm all out of time for today. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.